Ryan Anderson is on the hunt for his third consecutive overall event win. Will someone rise up and get in his way? Neil Elliott has completely dominated the Great Clip Skills Challenge, winning 5 out of 6 event competitions. Who can unseat the two-wheel champion? Is this the week diesel power proves it can be dominant in the Monster Jam world? We'll discover the answers to each of these questions over the next 60 minutes as the battle for the Monster Jam Overall Event Championship begins now. Welcome to San Diego, California and Petco Park. Tonight we join the Stadium Championship Series Green Superstars as 14 contenders vie for the event championship. Hello, I'm Scott Jordan with Zombies Bari Musauer, and with us on the ground is Casey Gagliardi. And Bari, it's been the Ryan Anderson show the last 2 events, as the son of a digger driver has won the last 2 overall event championships. But Neil Elliott and Morgan Kane are certainly not ready to roll over and hand Ryan the Stadium Championship Series green just yet. What's it going to take for the Max D and Gravedigger drivers to knock Ryan down a peg or two?
They're going to have to get off to a good start in the racing competition and then build momentum from there.
Bari, as you know, our drivers will battle it out in 3 competitions today: Monster Energy Racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and BKT Freestyle. The winner of each competition will be awarded a total of 14 points, with a total of 42 points on the line. The top point winner of today's event competition will be awarded the overall event championship. Now, the Green Series Tour features some of the sport's most dominant drivers, so who are the top 2 or 3 you think we should keep our eye on tonight?
And there's such a stacked lineup. Of course, Ryan Anderson, Neil Elliott, Morgan Kane, and Jimmy Cretin. Can't leave those names off.
Bari, as the green flag is about to drop on Monster Energy Racing, what are the highlights of the Stadium Championship Series green track that will come into play tonight?
Well, Scott, the track features 2 different figure-8 racing paths. Drivers start together, and then they hit the ramp and then veer off on their own course, circling perpendicular to the multi-ramp pods. These turns can become a tremendous obstacle, as each end of the stadium's dirt might be different. You might be really tacky on one end and then get to the other end and be really slick. So drivers really have to be on their game so they can get a fast time each time they're on the track so they can have lane choice.
And with that, let's take a look at our Monster Energy Racing bracket. Son of a Digger and Brodozer have automatically advanced into round 2 as Ryan Anderson and Heavy D respectively had the fastest first race passes last event. Let's talk about Ryan Anderson coming into tonight, 292 racing wins. That is incredible. We'll see if he can top that tonight and add on to his illustrious racing career. We're going to get started with 2 of the most powerful female competitors in our sport, Dawn Cretin in Scarlet Bandit and Cynthia Gauthier in Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
The ladies leading off the show. This is awesome. This is definitely a driver's track on the Stadium Championship Green Tour. Very easily to overdrive the track, but you definitely have to harness it because these turns are crucial.
Cynthia Gauthier, World Finals champion in the high jump category. She makes it look easy tonight in round 1 of racing. A valiant effort from Scarlet Bandit, but Monster Mutt Dalmatian advancing to round 2. Kristen Hope in Wolf's Head and Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter, the reigning Monster Jam World Finals racing champion.
It's a tough matchup for Kristen Hope, but you know what? That's why you run the race. Anything can happen. They're both out. Let's see what happens around these turns. This figure 8 is one of my favorite tracks, man.
Jimmy Cretin has worked tirelessly over the years to make Bounty Hunter faster, and it is shown all throughout competition, including at World Finals, as he gets around that turn smooth, and Kristen Hope is left in the dust as Bounty Hunter crosses the finish line, and he is heading into round 2 of Monster Energy Racing. 20.614, not bad for Jimmy Cretin. Kevin Crocker, El Toro Loco, Corey Rummel, and Megalodon, 2 teammates in Team Scream Racing.
Yeah, I'd like to see how Corey attacks this track. Corey's usually right on the ragged edge all the time, so he's going to have to harness that power because that Megalodon truck is fast. We want to be able to get around this track smoothly and consistently.
Now, speaking of teams, two of the coolest teams on the track, Team Megalodon, Team El Toro Loco, two of the most popular trucks in Monster Jam, as Kevin Crocker having some trouble as El Toro Loco makes contact with the outside container, and as a result, he will not cross the finish line. So Corey Rummel and Megalodon moving on to round two. Talk about this in the original Super Glue Glued to the Action replay. What went wrong?
He just went a little too deep into the turn. He carried too much momentum, found himself out there in the marbles where you don't have much traction, ended up sliding into the wall protection.
And we have an update on our next race, scheduled as a father-son matchup between Matt and Nick Pagliarulo. However, during the evening's opening ceremony, Nick's truck suffered mechanical issues, and Kraken had to be removed by the track recovery team, so we won't get to see that matchup of father versus son, Kraken versus Jester. A tough break for Nick Pagliarulo.
Man, I was really looking forward to that. Anytime these two hit the track, you know both of them want to win to carry that bragging rights of the family name into the next round.
As a result, Matt Pagliarulo will pilot Jester around the track without a head-to-head race, so as long as he completes the course without any incident, he will proceed on to the next round. But Barry, Matt still wants to try and push it a bit as lane choice still on the line for his second round matchup.
I think lane choice is definitely crucial in this track because as a driver, you might favor turning left or turning right. This track involves both, so you have to be good at both.
And I think that fact just gets lost in the shuffle with what looks like some of these bye runs when you don't have a head-to-head opponent. You still have everything to race for in the next round as we move on. Neil Elliott and Max D against Roy Pridgeon in Exterminator. Great matchup for Roy, but Max D so tough. Neil Elliott, one of the best drivers in the sport.
Did you see Neil commit to the rear steer very early in that turn to be able to set Max D up to carry around the turn with great momentum? He did it again in the final turn, and man, he is checking out on Exterminator.
Now, there is nothing on this track that Neil Elliott and Max D cannot figure out as he wins his way to victory in round one of Monster Energy Racing. Lightning fast time, and we continue these round one matchups. Here's Diesel Dave in Bro Camino with Morgan Kane in Grave Digger, a former World Finals Racing champion. Diesel Dave with his work cut out for him. This figure eight track bar is so tough.
It really is. You really have to trust the truck and really throw the truck into the turns just like Morgan did. But I tell you what, Diesel Davis holding his own, man. He's keeping right up with Morgan Kane now.
Now, he keeps getting better and better with each racing round. Morgan Kane making it look so easy on the track. And he is going to move on to the next round of Monster Energy Racing. So a great round one, but a surprising first round. Here is now how the racing brackets stack up. Neil Elliott and Max D with the fastest time of round one. Time for round two of Monster Energy Racing. Son of a Digger squares off against Jester. Technically speaking, this is the first real race of the night for both drivers. Matt, of course, did get to have a practice round of sorts. Does this give him any advantage over Ryan?
Absolutely, especially on a driver's track like this. You want to have a lap in first.
Now, Heavy D and Brodozer against Cynthia Gautier and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Heavy D also entering the race now for the first time tonight, having that bye from round one. Going to be a tough draw for him. Cynthia Gautier super fast on this figure eight track. Is she having some problems as she gets and clips that pod?
Yeah, she overdrove that first jump. It's just easy to do with these Monster Jam trucks. They're so responsive with the throttle. Heavy D looks like he's on a good lap, though. Let's see if he can bring Brodozer around for a win.
Heavy D trying to handle it, getting across the finish line easy. We'll see what the time is. Again, lane choice always a factor as you advance into these rounds. So 20.279 for Brodozer as he eliminates Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Our next matchup, Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter against Corey Rummel and Megalodon. Two drivers prior to 2019 that were more known for their freestyle. Jimmy Cretin, of course, that Racing World Championship, but anything can happen. And Corey Rummel has been getting faster and faster as the year progresses.
Yeah, it really looked like Corey was on rails, though, in that first turn, and all of a sudden, he faltered. Jimmy Cretin was right there to take full advantage.
Incredible matchup, one of the closest of the night so far. Corey Rummel making it interesting and making it tough, but it is Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter advancing to our semifinal round. And here is Matt Pagliarulo and Jester against the two-time World Finals champion Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger.
Let's see, with Matt having that first round bye, let's see if he got to a good comfort level to be able to just run his own race. He's got a tough draw, and Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. Let's see how this final turn plays out.
But Jester is putting it on Son of a Digger, but he goes wide into the container, and that is the opening that Ryan Anderson needed. So Matt Pagliarulo looked like he had Ryan for a bit of that race, but Ryan Anderson takes the win with a great time. Here's the original Super Glue Glued to the Action replay as Jester goes sideways into the containers.
Hey, you definitely have to really be cautious in that final turn because you got a lot of momentum coming off of that long straightaway.
New 2016 World Finals Racing champion Morgan Kane and Gravedigger against veteran Neil Elliott and Max D. This is the matchup I've been looking forward to in this round as they now cross into that first turn.
Really feel like that first jump sets the tone for your race. As you can see, Morgan Kane is kind of all over the place. If you overjump that first jump, though, you're in for a wild ride. Max D, Neil Elliott, he's on cruise control right now.
Neil Elliott making it pay, so a rare miscue from Morgan Kane and Gravedigger, giving Max D the win and a spot in our semifinals of Monster Jam Racing. And with that race, the stage is set for the semifinals. Brodozer, Bounty Hunter, Son of a Digger, Max D. What are you looking at with this semifinal bracket?
Man, you know what? Jimmy Creten's going to be tough to beat, as well as Neil Elliott. He's got a tough draw, though. Son of a Digger, Ryan Anderson. Man, I can't wait to see that race.
Jimmy Creten and Bounty Hunter, Heavy D and Brodozer as our semifinal round is about to begin. And they are green off the line, very, very close. Now this first turn could determine our winner as Heavy D tries to sail. Bounty Hunter whipping the rear around. He's got a slight lead over Brodozer.
Heavy D's got some catching up to do. He clips that pod. Let's see if he can... Oh, he's got some good momentum around this last turn.
And Heavy D making up for it with that final turn. Perfection for Heavy D and Brodozer. So he had to come from behind, played catch up almost the entire race, and nailed it. There is a look on the replay of that incredible turn that gets him into the finals, but it looks like he was having some issues there, Bari.
Yeah, it looks like the engine might be overheating. There's steam pouring out of the radiator. Maybe they can get that fixed.
And for an update on Brodozer, Casey Gagliardi is standing by with Colt Stevens in this UNOH pit report.
We got a little bit of an overheating issue right now, but we got the best guys in the business on it. We're going to get to the bottom of it, hopefully make it back for this final round. It was 290 degrees on that last pass, so we're going to work through it, get him back out there hopefully, and hopefully come home with a win tonight.
Colt Stevens, an incredible driver himself on this Brodozer team. Sometimes it's just not fair with both him and Heavy D behind the wheel than Diesel Dave last year. Any given night, any one of them can beat you. Speaking of beating you, a battle here between Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, Neil Elliott and Max D. Ryan didn't get all four tires down. That could cost him.
Yeah, he stumbled a little bit on that last turn, but you know what? He's right there in the thick of it. Oh, it looks like he's got a really big lead now. I'd be interested to see what happened to Neil.
Neil took that final turn wide, and it is Ryan Anderson recovering from that start, advancing to the final round of Monster Energy Racing. And the Brodozer team continues to struggle with the truck overheating. As a result, veteran Jimmy Creten and Bounty Hunter get to advance to the finals to face off against Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. This will be a hard-fought battle as both have plenty of experience being in this position. You have the 2017 World Finals Racing Champion in Son of a Digger and the 2019 World Finals Racing Champion in Bounty Hunter. So it's going to be an incredible matchup. One will get the first 14 points. They are off the line. They are even coming off. And again, Ryan with some issues getting off that jammer.
He recovered nicely, though, and I think that's where he snuck in past Neil on the last round. He was able to recover really fast, and it looks like he's really got a nice... Oh, no, he spun out. Oh, man,
spinning
tough break.
out. He had him, Bart. He had him on the final turn. He spins out, makes a donut out of it, and in the end, that gets Jimmy Creten and Bounty Hunter across the finish line. So Jimmy Creten, who was eliminated, now gets a second chance in the finals and goes on to win racing.
What a reprieve by Jimmy Creten to be able to come back and then take full advantage of it.
Jimmy Creten puts Bounty Hunter in a victory lane, and Casey is standing by with our Monster Energy Racing winner.
What a wild final race. Ryan Anderson spinning out around that second turn.
Oh, I knew it all had to be on kill. Ryan is so good. He's been turning a second faster than us. I knew it was going to take a great run. I knew I was there in the corner. It was whoever was going to get straightened out and get over that jump.
It's time to see how things went down in the Great Clip Skills Challenge earlier today. Each driver had the option to attempt two two-wheel skill maneuvers or a donut, as again 14 points were on the line for the event winner towards the overall event championship. Here's a quick look back at our top 6 competitors. Jimmy Creten and Bounty Hunter gets a sky wheelie. This is usually a slap wheelie combo, and he nailed it, getting Bounty Hunter straight up in the air. Great maneuver for Jimmy Creten.
That's awesome control when you can do a slap wheelie slow like that. He's a master at it.
Kevin Crocker would attempt the same trick, getting a nice slap wheelie, gets extension all the way across the track. And here's Nick Pagliarulo. He would finish in 4th with this incredible stoppie into a moonwalk. He's come so far in this competition in just a short time.
Whoa, Diesel Dave, that was great. Little bicycle action on both sides of the truck. Nice.
Combo bicycles for Diesel Dave, and then a master at the bicycle, Ryan Anderson, would get this bicycle, turn it into a sidewall save, and on the other side ends up in the container. But at the end of the competition, it was Neil Elliott who has become the probably most dynamic performer in this competition, as Neil Elliott would win the Great Clip Skills Challenge again.
He's so consistent at it, which is amazing because it's such a hard move to do.
Let's take a look at where the rest of the field landed in the standings. Great to see Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken back in the competition after missing racing. Again, Neil Elliott wins his 6th Skills Challenge competition. He's now won in every city we visited so far this season. Roy, what is it that gives Neil Elliott the advantage over everybody else?
I think Neil is just one of those people that's good at no matter what he does. You could stick him in any truck and he'd be able to perform at a top level.
Casey Gagliardi is standing by with Neil.
Neil, you are the guy to beat in this competition. You've got such control over that truck, and you get out here on this floor.
You know, I get to do what I love for a living. You know, we're out here just having fun. You know, Ryan had an awesome bicycle there, and it was just going so slow, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool right there. But the fans out there gave me the win.
And with the win, Max D and Son of a Digger are now in a tie for first place. Bari, how are these two competitors going to hit freestyle?
They're going to have to be aggressive and consistent all at the same time.
Someone else who hopes to hit the track is Heavy D and Brodozer, who had to miss the skills competition. Casey gave us an update earlier. She's standing by again with Colt Stevens and the status of Brodozer.
We saw that the truck is out here on the track. Is it running and is it ready for freestyle?
Oh yeah, the truck's 100% awesome. We have the best crew in the house out here getting it fixed. We have a mechanical water pump wire that runs off the top of the intake that actually makes the pump work and pumps water into the engine to help keep it cool. The guys got out there. We had an extra one laying on the ground ready to go. They got it changed out. We're ready to go for freestyle, and I am pumped to see what Heavy D's got up his sleeve tonight.
It is time for BKT Freestyle, and here's how the event is scored. Each of our drivers will attempt a freestyle run filled with big air, non-stop action. Flow like this expert run by Black Pearl. You add in momentum, and a perfect example is this slap wheelie by two-time World Finals champion Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter. And you have those special wow moments which the fans love, like this crazy two-wheel save from Lucas Oil Crusader. All drivers pushing their Monster Jam trucks to its limits. Each driver is awarded a score by you, the audience. That's right, fans in attendance at our Monster Jam events provide each driver a score immediately following their run. Fans judge our drivers based on the use of all track obstacles, creativity, technical moves like this bicycle into a stop wheelie into a moonwalk by Son of a Digger, combinations, Bakugan Dragonoid showing off his backflip into a moonwalk combo, and of course the fan-pleasing wow factor. However, to qualify for a score, drivers must complete the first 30 seconds of their run. Bari, it's a new rule and it has changed the game of Monster Jam Freestyle.
Yeah, it's so crucial that you get in that first 30 seconds to give the fans a fair shot at judging each one of those criteria that you just mentioned.
We get a look now at Kevin Crocker in the Crazy Bull El Toro Loco. He will kick off Monster Jam Freestyle. As he hits the first jump, he sees a little slap wheelie, then clips the pod. Come around now to the other side of the track. So we talked about racing, Bari, with this figure 8 track. It kind of gives it a different layout for freestyle because now you have multiple pods in the middle of the track to jump. So more obstacles generally means more action.
Yeah, and Kevin probably walked the track well before freestyle just to get a gauge at what the track had to offer. You know, the best drivers do that, to be able to walk it first, to be able to, okay, say, now I got a game plan to go out there and attack the track.
And here comes El Toro Loco again. We talked about the fan base with El Toro Loco being immensely popular. This is a fan-voted competition. You know, surely you know something about the fan voting, driving Zombie, one of the other more popular trucks in Monster Jam. Talk about the affiliations with these fans and these teams and how that might impact their voting in freestyle.
You have to be able to interact with the fans while you're in the truck. And what I mean by that is you got to have that wow factor that brings them to their feet, right on the edge of their seat, to be able to say, wow, I'm going to give this guy a great score. That was a great jump, too, by Kevin.
You said a great jump from Kevin Crocker. We're starting to see a little more aggressive style here from Kevin Crocker than we've seen in the past in this series as he comes close to, actually hits the container, so they are going to shut him off for a second. We'll see if he gets a chance to back it up, and he will be allowed to back El Toro Loco up and try again. But I love this Kevin Crocker we're seeing here tonight in San Diego. Very aggressive and putting out all the stops in freestyle.
Yeah, you have to be able to come out with a vengeance. When you are first in freestyle, you got to set that bar high. The fans are already buzzing because, you know, freestyle is just starting out, so they want to see something cool, and you're the first one to go out there and show it to them.
El Toro Loco now coming back around to the other side of the track. Everything in front of Kevin Crocker, hits a ramp right there, the race ramp in the middle of the track. Gets some nice air, bounces it off. He will turn it around and come back this way. Here comes El Toro Loco. Smoke coming out from under the truck, hitting another ramp, another good jump, slap wheelie. And Kevin Crocker continuing this incredible run. I believe this is the best freestyle run we have seen from him this year.
Uh-oh, he's tagged the wall protection again. As you can see, the flashing red light. That's going to end his run. Good presence for Kevin to start out freestyle.
Just ran out of space, tagging the container. Here comes our 2019 Monster Jam World Finals high jump champion,
Whoa.
Cynthia Gauthier, showing off her world-class athleticism. Great save there for Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
She really came out with a vengeance. She attacked that obstacle and really is on a great run so far. Great little two-wheel save into another combo on that ramp there. She's got a good run going, and we're not even 30 seconds in yet.
She has a big freestyle win this season in Anaheim at Angel Stadium, so California been very good to Cynthia Gauthier. Now Monster Mutt Dalmatian hitting some small jumps. She had the big air to start it. We'll see where she picks off here. Again, hitting that ramp in the middle of the track. Some nice air extension of Monster Mutt Dalmatian, whipping it back around, hitting a smaller ramp. There's some big air. The acceleration midway, and there's a save for Cynthia Gauthier, now up on the big pod in the middle of this figure eight track.
Cynthia's really got great momentum going. She's in that rhythm from just going from one obstacle to the next, kind of throwing caution to the wind. Little cross thread there. She wasn't really lined up for that ramp, but it didn't matter. She's fully composed and on to the next jump.
You get 2 full minutes in Monster Jam Freestyle in these stadiums to make something happen. That is a lot of time. Doesn't seem like a lot, man, but when you add all the elements on this track into 2 minutes, you can put together something spectacular, and that is what she's trying to do here. She's off to a great start. A lot of time on the clock, and she's going to slow it down a little bit. Let's see what happens for Monster Mutt Dalmatian. She will now hit the 8-pack backflip, skying it, and lands it back on the ramp. What a move. There's your wow factor for Cynthia Gauthier.
Wow, and she didn't hit reverse. She just went right up the obstacle, on to the next. She's got the fans, man. They're buzzing right now.
Sky wheelie, that's what won her the high jump championship. Those big jumps like that, getting the Monster Jam truck straight up in the air and back down, cross-threading on the ramp. Great landing, almost getting the save on the 8-pack. So she ends up right back at the 8-pack. What a score and what a run for Cynthia Gauthier, Barry. Incredible night for her.
Yeah, anytime you can get the crowd buzzing like that during your run, you know you're on your way to a good score.
It's time for a racing winner to hit the track. Jimmy Cretan now just 3 points back from our leaders, so a good run here could spell a fantastic night for the veteran as Bounty Hunter heads out on the track.
Yep, he's got to keep it consistent. He's in the driver's seat right now. He's leading this show, so anything can happen right now.
He's going to accelerate, trying to hit the brakes, but he cannot stop, so he is going to hit the containers, and that is a disqualification. So a tough end for tonight's racing winner as he had the overall event championship within his sights. Dawn Cretan in Scarlet Bandit. She gets a jump off the ramp, try to get a slap wheelie, not much air there. But she did get a great jump there, just did not get enough for the fans to back that score. Kristen Hope and Wolf's Head had a donut. We know when all else fails, give a donut, but it doesn't get you a great freestyle score. She's still an up-and-coming superstar in Monster Jam. Back to the action now. Corey Rummel in Megalodon. Here's a guy that I have coined as Mr. Extreme Air. He's a Monster Jam Extreme Air Award winner. He has now really put himself on the map as a racer. We talked about that earlier, but his meat and potatoes, Barry, his bread and butter is in freestyle, and he's not afraid to take risks, not afraid to hit the big jumps, and we will see that every given night from Corey Rummel in Megalodon.
Yes, indeed, and Corey looks like he's kind of being cautious right now. He wants to get past that first 30 seconds, but I guarantee you he will turn it up after that first 30 seconds is up, and he's going to rock this house in Megalodon.
And what does it feel like for other drivers when an early leader falters in freestyle? We saw Jimmy Cretin disqualified, so what does that do to other drivers if you're watching that as we see Megalodon with some great air?
Well, see, you can take full advantage of that, because if he's the next one to go and get a good score, that really puts the fans on your side to be able to say, hey, he did a great job. I'm going to give him a good score after not seeing such great performances.
And there's the extreme air from Megalodon. Corey Rummel bringing it back around to the other side, has the step-up ramp in his sights and skies Megalodon across it, clearing the ramp and a wheelie on the other side. Great combo move here in freestyle from the proud member of Team Scream Racing, an accomplished technician is Corey Rummel. He works on that truck from the time he gets to the building to the time he leaves, one of the last to leave the stadium each and every weekend as we see him again try to navigate Megalodon around the track. Talk about that prowess from him. But first we're going to get to a backflip attempt. Here comes Mr. Extreme Air on the Monster Energy backflip ramp.
Perfect.
And he lands it. Great move from this skilled technician.
That was awesome, and now the adrenaline is really pumping. That's when you find the next biggest ramp out there and you just hit it just like he just did.
And that is why he's Mr. Extreme Air. Can he save it? So close, so he gets the backflip, gets the jump, a near save. Not enough to take the lead, but a great freestyle run for Corey Rummel and Megalodon. He currently sits in second place. Here is Matt Pagliarulo and Jester.
Love the look of this blue Jester. Matt really comes out with a different kind of paint scheme each year in competition. This year he's rocking this awesome blue paint job.
First stadium freestyle win of his career came week 1 of the 2020 season at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Has not been back to the top of the mountain in freestyle since, but has proven now that he can compete with the bigger names in freestyle, the names of Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, Neil Elliott, and Max D. Look at the big air from Jester. So he's another guy that has gone leaps and bounds, Bari, and now takes a lot of risks that we haven't seen him take in years past.
For sure, and being that Matt's such a fan of the sport in general, he started out as a fan, and now he's a driver behind this awesome truck. He knows what these fans in the stands want to see, and he definitely is going to give it to them every time he's out there on the track.
The leader of Tomfoolery Motorsports in Deltona, Florida, he and his son Nick Pagliarulo, now 2 trucks in their army. Matt Pagliarulo lining up here for something, trying to get it back around, trying to stabilize his truck onto that ramp. That's what he was looking for, a sky wheelie. Didn't get a whole lot of air.
That was good, though. A good sky wheelie, something we haven't seen yet so far in this freestyle competition. So he's really doing a good job keeping up great momentum. Awesome jump there.
There's the big air we love to see from Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. He has so many different color bodies for this truck. We've seen blue, we've seen green, we've seen orange, we've seen purple. I like this purple body. It goes very well with the rest of the paint scheme. So it's one of the trucks in Monster Jam that kids love. I call him the Clown Prince of Monster Jam because of that big Jester logo. As we see another huge jump from Matt Pagliarulo and Jester starting to put together some momentum here in freestyle.
Yeah, you can only hope that he's going to put together a backflip at some point, just because that's the recipe it takes to really win freestyle and get a good score.
And he is not afraid to attempt the backflip. Now just trying to find something. Didn't get a whole lot of acceleration onto that ramp. I think he just turned around and was at the wrong angle, so he just jumped over it to get to something next. And here he comes now. He's going to hit the gas. There's the step-up ramp again. Some more big air for Jester.
That was a great step-up jump there. Oh, and he's just going to end it there. Wow, surprisingly kind of a low score if you ask me, but he's currently in 4th.
I agree with you. That was a low score. I thought Matt hit a lot of great obstacles, had a lot of good air, and he is back now. Heavy D in Brodozer, recovering from the mechanical issues. He is going to have something to prove here, and he kicks it off with a jump on the other side of that FMX step-up ramp.
Nice, and that's a good way to test your shocks out to make sure they're working. Looks like Brodozer landed great off that jump, so he's really in for a good ride, I think, if he can keep it going.
Brodozer was unable to compete in the Great Clip Skills Challenge, so the overall event championship out of his grasp. Look at that, a double jump as he bounces it off the top of the pod. As a driver, Bart, if you know you can't win the overall event championship, what does that do to your mentality, your strategy when it comes to freestyle?
Well, you just go out there and really just go have a good time. You still want to leave your mark in front of all these fans here in San Diego saying, oh, I remember what Heavy D and Brodozer did, because he's out there riding and really having a good run. So you definitely don't want to ever hold back.
He has a few freestyle wins in his young Monster Jam career behind the wheel of Brodozer. Another one tonight in San Diego would go a long way to establishing Heavy D as one of the more dominant superstars currently in Monster Jam when it comes to freestyle. So a lot on the line here for him is as far as just pride and making sure that he sends the fans home happy. And we all know that that is what the Diesel brothers want to do. They want to send everybody home happy, have them feel that they gave everything they had and left it on the track. Another great jump for Brodozer and a bicycle off the pod.
Wow, that was a great combination of jumps there, and he's still on all four tires, so we're still rolling. Heavy D's, he's still fairly new in the truck, but he's definitely not new when it comes to handling all this horsepower that the Brodozer has.
He's got more of the smoke coming out. We're used to seeing the black diesel smoke, but we saw in racing with the smoke that was coming out of the end. Are there still some issues? Obviously not, as he hits the backflip and stands it on the back. What a move and balance for Heavy D in Brodozer.
Wow. Now you can see the official shut him off because he bent a 4-link bar in the rear housing of the truck there, so that won't be safe to continue on, but look at the score.
Incredible run. I was going to ask you if there were any issues with the truck, but none would stop him from landing the backflip. So Brodozer, with a near-perfect fan score, has taken the top spot. This one is far from over as we take a look at the BKT Freestyle Top 5. When we return, Diesel Dave and Morgan Kane hit the track for their freestyle runs. For nearly 30 years, Monster Jam trucks have been pushed to their limits, drivers demonstrating awe-inspiring big air jumps to astonishing technical moves. That's why it's important to have partners who help keep our trucks performing at their absolute best. Lucas Oil has made that possible. From transmission and hydraulic fluids to engine oil, Lucas Oil products are the lifeblood of Monster Jam. Welcome back at Petco Park in San Diego, California, as we continue with freestyle. And our next competitor is Diesel Dave in Bro Camino, and he likes to get things started right out of the gate, and there's an incredible jump for Diesel Dave in Bro Camino.
That's how you get started. That weight really wakes you up. The impact of a jump like that to start off freestyle. It's like, all right, we're here to play. Let's go.
Score to beat Heavy D and Brodozer 9.668. That is going to be a tough score to beat, but if there's anybody that wants to do it, it would have to be Diesel Dave. He has a very friendly rivalry with his partner Heavy D. They like to top each other. One of them goes out first, the other one wants to do better, but in order to do better, he has got to really wow the fans. So do you think Diesel Dave in Bro Camino has what it takes to beat a 9.668?
He certainly does. It's going to take one of those wow factors, almost like a wild card move that he's not going to plan. It's just something that's going to happen, almost like the back-to-back flip that he did last year while he was piloting the Brodozer. So let's see what Diesel Dave has in his brand new Bro Camino.
And we talk about Monster Jam athletes being the most personable in sports, and definitely in motorsports. Diesel Dave is a guy who I have seen time and time again literally wait till every fan in the stadium is gone as he approaches the pod, the race ramp, trying to get off of it, try to bicycle. Nothing there, but what I was getting to, Barry, is he will sign every autograph, take every picture, and it's so good to see that kind of personality from a Monster Jam athlete.
Absolutely. He's a real down-to-earth guy, loves to have fun. We have a blast whenever, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in more than trouble. He turned it and flipped it completely over. Looked like he got stuck in the dirt.
It looked like he was only in front-wheel drive there about halfway through that run. Something let go in the rear-end housing, causing no more drive to those rear tires for Diesel Dave.
And here's Morgan Kane and Gravedigger. Gravedigger has not been much of a factor during tonight's event, but Morgan Kane can really show why you never count him out on any given night. As a matter of fact, in this series, he's been at the top of the point standings for almost every single event that he's competed in. At one point in 2020, he was the #1 rated driver in the Monster Jam Power Rankings. He's a former world champion. Just what has gone wrong for Morgan Kane tonight?
Well, sometimes it's just not your night to go out there and perform at your highest level. You have to have so many factors that are working in your favor. You've got to have the truck working in tip-top shape, and you've got to be mentally and physically prepared, which I know Morgan always is. He's a guy he's another one of those guys that's really good at no matter what he does, and including piloting this Gravedigger Monster Jam truck as he gets some huge air off that ramp.
Out of Currituck, North Carolina, grew up best friends with Ryan Anderson, practically grew up in Digger's Dungeon with Dennis Anderson as a father figure and a role model. A lot of pressure on Morgan as a Gravedigger driver without the Anderson last name, but he is still held to that standard, and he is a world champion for a reason. Great jump onto the pod for Morgan Kane, and Gravedigger follows it up by hitting the little pod right in front of him as well.
That's a nice combo.
And the backflip bar, he didn't have enough. I was wondering how he was going to do that. He backs it up. Here we go again. Morgan Kane and Gravedigger with the backflip attempt, and he nails it. That's what you're looking for.
Wow, yeah, he went from move to move to move there, and it looks so effortless, but that is one of the hardest things to do because you're getting thrown so many different directions when you land in one of these Monster Jam trucks. Awesome jump there off the step up.
Morgan Kane also very active in the Monster Jam community with fans. Big jump from Gravedigger. He's a St. Jude ambassador. Lands it again on that pod with the APAC cross-threading. Now he's going to spin it around with a donut for Gravedigger. He is moving that thing in a donut. How difficult is that?
This is one of the most action-packed freestyles of tonight. I mean, he is all over the track. He does not care. He's throwing that truck anywhere he can go.
And the light went red, and he is still going for the fans here. A sidewall donut for Morgan Kane. So he ends it on the sidewalls. Not quite enough. Man, did he give it everything he had. But Morgan Kane getting Gravedigger into second place here in freestyle. So if Neil Elliott or Ryan Anderson falter in their upcoming freestyle runs, Morgan could have brought Gravedigger back from the dead with that run. Now, someone else, Bari, who had a resurrection of sorts was Kayla Blood, as we transition now into this week's Monster Energy Action of the Week. Talk about what Kayla Blood here in Soldier Fortune's going to do. You know her. You've been up and down the road. There's an incredible backflip from her.
Whoa, that was actually a forward momentum backflip off of the 8-pack, which you have to have a lot of momentum, and the ramp has got to be built right in order for the truck to do that. That's awesome.
Great action from the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri for Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune with the forward momentum backflip. That is why it's the unprecedented Monster Energy Action of the Week. Our last two drivers hold all the cards for tonight's overall event championship. A top 10 finish in freestyle puts either of them at the top of the leaderboard. Now, as long as neither one of them get disqualified, they should walk away with the overall event championship. So the only thing standing in their way is each other. Tied now, but will they be after freestyle is over? Bari, who in your opinion has the advantage, Neil Elliott or Ryan Anderson?
Man, that's a toss-up. Any given moment, both of those guys can come out and bring it during freestyle. I just can't wait to see it myself. I'm going to sit back and watch, be a fan.
Now here comes Neil Elliott and Max D. He's been dominant all season long in the Great Clip Skills Challenge, not so much in freestyle, as he does not have a freestyle win yet in the 2020 season. Ryan Anderson, a bit of an opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to that. We'll get to that during his run, but Neil Elliott, so dominant in one competition, but yet to get that freestyle win. What's holding him back?
It's just uncharacteristic for Neil. I think it might have something to do with the judging. Fans tend to judge that first backflip they see at any given moment. So usually Neil goes a lot later in the field. So maybe that has something to do with it, but I'm not really sure. But one thing's for sure, Neil Elliott is always going to bring it no matter what.
He's always right there when it comes to this competition. Might not win, but he's usually at the top or near the top of the leaderboard. As Max D now whips around past the containers, he's going to hit this jump here up onto the step-up ramp. Completely clears it back down on the other side for Neil Elliott and Max D. Max D, of course, the most decorated truck in World Finals history with Tom Meents as well. 12 World Finals championships. Neil Elliott yet to win the big one. I'm sure he will at some point in his career. You almost think he has to.
Right, and Neil's such a fluid driver. I mean, he goes from move to move effortlessly, and it really looks like he's really just on a Sunday drive sometimes, and it's a testament to how well the crew prepares that Max D truck to suck up these landings. I mean, the truck is up in the air really high, and it just comes down like it's no big deal. And I can tell you it's not.
And here's the backflip from Max D, and he nails it, bounces off the back tires. He will go again around. More destruction in store for Max D. He's going to hit the step up again, and again clears it even farther on his second attempt. So a great backflip for Neil Elliott. Can you believe this is his 20th year competing in Monster Jam?
And he's still at the top of his game. I mean, just wheeling one of the most highly decorated Monster Jam trucks around, and he's doing a great job week in, week out. I think that might be one of the reasons why he hasn't won is he just makes it look so easy.
Another incredible jump, clearing the pod. He's going to hit the brakes now for Max D. That is going to end his run a little prematurely. So a top 5 finish for Neil Elliott. That's what he needed, but he still has this man standing in his way. Here comes 2-time World Finals champion Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger.
All right, and if there's anybody that can match Morgan Cain's intensity on the track as far as momentum, Ryan Anderson. I call him the blueprint for a reason. He's just bred into this. Driving a Monster Jam truck is like second nature to him.
And all Ryan Anderson has to do is beat Neil Elliott's score, which is currently in 5th place. You think he has enough in the tank to make that happen?
I think so. It's really going to take the truck staying underneath of him, which means the truck's got to stay in one piece. He's got to fill his time. He's got to have a wow factor for sure.
Coming into tonight, Ryan Anderson has won 3 consecutive freestyle competitions. A win here would be his 4th in a row. He's also won 2 straight overall event championships. To win his 3rd, he has to beat that score. That is Max D's freestyle score, and that is what Ryan Anderson needs to beat to win his 3rd consecutive overall event championship. Now, we know, Barry, that Ryan usually gets in the 9, so it seems like something he could do in his sleep, but anything can happen tonight.
For sure, anything can happen, but consistently Ryan is on top of his game when it comes to freestyle. He loves to freestyle. I mean, that's what he tells the fans every time is, I come here for freestyle, and he lives up to it every single time he's out there.
Yeah, and he wants to win. He always says he's here for he doesn't care about winning, he's just here for the fans. But I made him come out and say, yes, I want to win every time. I do say it's about the fans, and it is, but I want to win. So he does want to win. It means a lot to him. You know, the Anderson family has a lot of pride. They're accustomed to winning. Dennis has 4 world championships. Ryan has 2. Adam has 5. So winning, it may not be everything, but it is a lot. But the fans, of course, mean more to the Andersons than anything else. And here comes Son of a Digger off the Monster Energy backflip ramp, and he nails it. Will that be enough?
Awesome, man. That is a stout backflip. I mean, literally, it's like deceleration trauma from hitting that, from going forward to backward in an instant, and he's on the ragged edge right now.
Ragged edge driving from Digger's Dungeon. Incredible save for Ryan Anderson. Almost ran out of room into the jammer, and he's now going to back it up until the truck goes into the ground. What a run for Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. Let's take a look now at the original super glue glued to the action replay.
Man, this run is just filled with nonstop action, Scott. I mean, from the very beginning to the end, Ryan really just leaves you on the edge of your seat, and you can't wait to see what he's going to do.
Ryan did just enough to edge out Neil Elliott, a ½ point difference. The Son of a Digger driver will win the overall event championship. Heavy D, meanwhile, claims his first BKT Freestyle Win of the Year, and Casey is with Heavy D now.
Celebrating down here on the floor. Heavy D, what does it mean to you to take home this freestyle win here tonight?
It feels really good. I've been patient. I've been pacing myself. I've been on my best behavior, except for in Anaheim last week. And I came out here, and, man, I thought the night was over early when I broke. But my crew, greatest dudes in the world, most talented, hardworking. And honestly, it's because of them. I just got out there and drove.
What is your reaction when you see this backflip? That is some intense action out here on the track.
You know, I have struggled. Anybody who knows me, you know I've struggled with the backflips a lot. I've been like over-rotate, under-rotate. I've done every type of rotation but the right kind of rotation. And tonight I still over-rotated it, but I was able to bring it back down. It feels good. I finally did it, and I feel good about it.
And Barry, Heavy D should feel good about it. He's been working extremely hard, and tonight that hard work paid off.
For sure. Congrats to Heavy D and the whole Brodozer team. They put that truck through the paces tonight, and they made it pay off for sure.
Someone else who put in a good deal of hard work, Ryan Anderson. The Son of a Digger driver earned himself tonight's overall event championship, and it's his 3rd consecutive win of the season. It was a night full of non-stop action and first-time winners, with Bounty Hunter taking his first racing win and Brodozer taking the freestyle competition. But it was Neil Elliott and Ryan Anderson who battled it out for the top spot, with Ryan's consistency giving him the slight edge. For Barry Musauer and Casey Gagliardi, I'm Scott Jordan. Thank you for watching Monster Jam.